Good day. Hope you're all doing well. This is another Graviflyer thoughts and observation video, just to continue to bore you all with theoretical modes of operation. It's a book I came across 25 or so years ago, sitting in a thrift store on the floor covered in cobwebs. In a future video, I'll show you some of the pictures in this book. There's some really profound stuff in it. And yes, I do think they're all man-made UFOs. And we can address that in another video as well. So more importantly though, let me show you how this relates to the Graviflyer. Let's go to this page here. This is a reprint from a book called Dark Side of the Moon. It's a German book, still searching for it desperately, but the key point here is chopstick pointer time right there. Form of propulsion, Schumann levitator, mag field impulsor. It's pretty hard to read, but it also says Schumann right there as well. All right, let's take a look at this guy here. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Winfried Otto Schumann, right? What was his background before bringing us the Schumann resonance philosophy? Well, it was in high voltage electricity for quite a while. All right. Who was brought in during Victor Schauberger's little attempt here in 1922 with the Vril and Thule Society, who was brought in as a consultant and technician, Winfried Otto Schumann, right? What happened? Well, Winfried Otto Schumann was brought to the United States during Operation Paperclip and stayed at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base between 47 and 49, a 2-year stint. That information is still classified to this day. What does this have to do with the Graviflyer? Let's take a look at this guy here. This is the person who actually should get the credit for Schumann's discovery, right? Good old Tesla, 1899. Earth's electrical resonance. It's all driven by lightning. Notice this picture of the atmosphere. Once again, a nice low-grade demonstration for y'all. I hope you can, not fall asleep. Everyone who's been watching YouTube videos seems to have the attention span of a gnat, so why don't you pull back, do a little research first, okay? Check out this standing wave here. Right? Very important concept. Let's fast forward a little bit. Why don't we talk about Mike Gamble and the Boeing study of gravity. Mike, I think you've had the answer the whole time. Yeah, all right. We can talk about that later. Schumann harmonics. Note the frequencies, right? First, second, third, fourth harmonic. Okay. What does this have to do with the Graviflyer, you say? Well, let's check out this page here. Here's the Tesla drive that Mike Gamble is proposing. Interesting. This apparently is described as a monopole magnet. You notice the, right, north facing out. Let's go to this page here in the study of gravity. This is in section 2, I believe. Right. It doesn't say the theory of gravity by Boeing. It says straight up gravity. generated by long, low frequency standing waves of radial acceleration. That really makes sense, right? What is this? A standing wave. This is what Tesla was describing in 1899. Right. What was one of the key points that is in relation to the Graviflyer? Alexi's sitting there switching the ultrasound on and off, on and off, on and off. What's he attempting to do? Right? What does Mike say? The easy part is getting the resonant device running. The difficult part is synchronizing it to the Earth's harmonics so that it has something to push against. Right? Must be synchronized to the Earth's field. Well, how would you go about doing that? Again, in my first video, I pointed out the fact that this disc is not metal. I know it's only a 12-minute or so long video, but y'all should go back and take a look at it. Try not to fall asleep, okay? Actually sit there and study a little bit, okay? What's needed here? We've got 3 different things that are being driven by a frequency. Your ultrasound, right? The high voltage electricity that's being applied to the plates themselves. You have the Tesla coils frequency, and if you really want to get into, you have the actual driving speed of the discs themselves. Probably in particular the lower disc with the magnets. Okay? You need some sort of way to sync all of these together, right? To get them in phase. At least a starting point so that you can then slowly move them back and forth and take them in and out of phase with each other. We've already noticed that the ultrasound and the Tesla coil interact with each other. And if you look at my shorts video on my Graviflyer unpacking, the very last frame has key specific information written on the Tesla coil. I don't know if anyone else has run those calculations on their Tesla coil, but it's a really good thing to look at. Note the actual frequency and realize as you attach this to the Tesla coil, even if you run the cable just down inside the actual secondary of the Tesla coil, right, you're still tuning that frequency. You're picking up that frequency. It's dependent upon the physical makeup, and this changes the capacitance of the overall coil itself. So good things to actually research, right? Run through the numbers. Instead of just throwing spaghetti at the wall, back up, take a good look at what you're trying to do. Okay? So once you get all of these in sync with each other, now you have to sync them to the Earth's standing wave, right? The Schumann resonance. Well, what's naturally in sync with the Schumann resonance to begin with? It's us, our bodies, our biorhythms, and especially the rhythms coming out of our brain, right? Who studied this? W.O. Schumann and H. Koenig, right? Check into those guys because they were on it. There's a reason that this guy's work is still classified. Here's a small little tidbit here. Yeah. The possibility that electrical components of time-varying electrical potentials produced by the brain may occasionally overlap and become synchronous with ultra-low frequency electromagnetic activity. This has been proven. All right, you can find this on the web. This is important information. This will allow you to sync this to the Schumann resonance. All right? It's not a huge leap to figure out how to sync these things together. Well, there's a device out there that helps you do all of that. It's an amazing piece of equipment. It has the capability to sync oscillators and to actually get multiple oscillators, multiple frequency sources to track each other, whether or not they're all utilizing the same frequency. And what's that device? It's a modular synthesizer. Okay. Now, granted, the frequency of these oscillators is, within the audio spectrum. There's no reason you can't update these oscillators, right? They have frequency control inputs, and importantly, they're exponentially controllable. And good oscillators have sync inputs, either hard sync or soft sync. So in another video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to produce one of these oscillators with a sync input. And I'll begin by driving what I showed you in my first video, which is the Townsend Brown, what I call the whirligig, right? The flying disc thingy, okay? So, sitting there turning on and off an ultrasound device is great and all, but it takes far too long. And I think there's a much simpler way to actually get in tune with the standing waves that Mike, you've pointed this out. I don't know if you've directed anyone to this document. This is an extremely important document. It's quite thorough. And I encourage you all to do some more research. Just plugging everything in and sitting there waiting, we're gonna get nowhere. It's time to pull back, and use your brain, and realize there's a whole nother thing going on here. Okay. Victor Schauberger. Here's his device, right? 3 plates. However, as described by Alexei Chekhirkov, bottom plate negative, top plate negative, middle plate positive. Notice how the mechanism is offset. I think that's critical. Again, who helped the Vril and Thiel societies with working out the details of this in 1922? Winfried Otto Schumann. There's a connection here. Townsend Brown parachuted into Germany during the war, middle of the night, by himself to go collect a German high-voltage physicist. I believe that person was Winfried Otto Schumann. Just a hunch. All right, you guys, I'm gonna leave you with that. See what you think. Maybe you can handle a 13-minute video or not. Take care.